Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
Welcome back. So, you've heard about kefir. We've received our water kefir grains, right? Here's how this works. You have any jars around? You could probably go to a secondhand store, a thrift store, and find jars. They call them mason jars or other kinds of jars. You can find the jars. If they have the lid, great. If they don't, it's not a big deal. And we're going to use these jars. It's not a quart size. What size is this? 2.5 cups. So that's like basically half a quart. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our sugar. Now I prefer to use the sugar that already has, it's sugar mixed with molasses, because molasses will give the nutrients to your kefir. And upon receiving your kefir, you're going to, as I'm going to call it, brew them twice. You're going to let them go through their process twice of sitting in the sugar water, so that way they can revitalize. They come back to life, if you will, because it's a living organism. So all you're going to do is take your brown sugar. Now again, this is not a quart, it's half a quart. So we're going to take about 2 tablespoons worth, which is 1/8 of a cup, and put it in our jar of this brown sugar. Now I already have filtered water here from our refrigerator, and for those of you who are part of the 190 Vision community and know about charged water, this does have that charged H2O plus in here. Anyway, now we're going to pour our water in here. It's important that you avoid using metal when working with the kefir. You see, I'm going to go right up to this bend in the jar, okay? We have to leave room because as this kefir grows and as it ferments this sugar water, it will create gas. We want to make sure that it has room to escape. I'm using a wooden spoon, or you could use a plastic spoon. You could even use metal at this time because you're just mixing the sugar water. But once you start touching the kefir, everything should be either plastic or wooden, okay? Because somehow the metal reacts with the kefir and it could kill the kefir. So we're going to see, is our sugar dissolved? I think there's one little chunk still left in here. And once we have this, I might just remove this little chunk. There we go. All right, so our sugar water is now ready. How much of the grain do you use? Typically, you should use about 2 tablespoons worth. Let me grab my tablespoon. Voila, plastic tablespoon. And just going to scoop up my grains very gently and put them in there. So as you see, one of these containers makes more than 1 jar worth of this type jar worth of kefir. So now what's the next step? We're going to let it brew or ferment. We're just going to cover it with a piece of cheesecloth, and I put a rubber band on, and it's done. I just put it off to the side. That's how you start it. Again, this is number 1. And in 24 hours, I'll check it and see how it smells. If it's starting to smell sour, that's a good thing. Leave it for the second 24 hours, okay? After that 48 hours, you're going to dump out what you have, the liquid, and save your kefir grains. So we're going to go through that step next. All right, so you've waited 48 hours, and then you dumped out that water kefir. I use that first set of water kefir that's done to water my plants. It's actually very healthy for the plants. But again, we want to make sure it's really activated and healthy, so do it twice. This is the second one, okay? So this is the second 48 hours. This has been 4 days now. We've already emptied it once. This is the second time that we let it go. And as you can see, the grains have really doubled in size. Well, as in like multitude, not size themselves, but some of them might be large grain. You might find small grains. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove our lid, and we're going to empty our kefir water into a bowl. I use glass bowls or plastic bowls, again, because even though you don't see them in here, there are kefir grains, and all that live bacteria is within all this liquid that just came out of this container. Okay? And I have a second one that I'm going to empty as well. but we'll wait. I'll show you what to do now. So now what do you do with this? This is the point where you can either drink it the way it is. If you want to get a close up in there, you can even see some of the strains, some of the bubbles and some of the strains of the kefir that are growing in there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to flavor it to make our own sparkly soda. And several individuals want to see the orange juice one. So see right there. This is orange juice concentrate. You can get any brand. Try and block out the name there, right? And all I'm doing is I have already mixed it here, but I'm going to show you live. We're going to take about a 1/4 cup worth of frozen juice concentrate. Now, you guys, this is the size of a 1/4 cup, okay? So this is about maybe half of that. I'm really good at eyeing things, so now that would make my 1/4 cup if I were to fill this, okay? And what I will do, I don't have it right next to me, it's across the kitchen, is my hot water maker. I'm going to put in just enough hot water to dissolve this orange juice, okay? Now I've already done that. Ta-da! This is the magic of making movies and things, right? So I put in the water, I melted the orange juice, and it's ready to go. Now, in order to make this into our fancy fizzy lifting drink, no, don't, that's not really what it is. It's just, you know, fun water kefir. You should have your funnel nearby, because I don't like to spill things. And then you're just going to pour in your water kefir. And again, you're going to go up to the bend in the bottle. And it's important to do that because, oh, you might have to get more from another jar. It's important to do that because it will need space to expand and get fizzy. I'm going to empty another one because I want to go up to the bend here. It should be like 1 inch of space at least. So again, we're going to drain our grains. Ah, you guys, look at all these grains. Isn't that awesome? And they just keep growing. It's fun. At least I have fun with it. Okay, I'm going to pour in a little bit more here. Maybe a little too much. Nope, it's about 1 inch. See? You still have to, you know, from here, that's at least 1 inch, but I like to give a little extra space there. Okay? And it's okay. I know this is a plastic funnel, not a plastic, a metal funnel. I don't have a plastic one yet, so I just used it. It barely passed through. It should be fine for the kefir because it's not the actual grains that are going through the metal. Now, we put a lid on it. And you tighten it. And this is ready to go. I didn't stir it because the kefir and the orange juice will start to mix. And then, from our experience, it's separated again. And all we had to do was mix it again. So, in about 6 to 8 hours of this sitting, I'm going to check it. Right now, if you look, I can push down on the top. But in 6 to 8 hours, I might not be able to do that. And if that's the case, all you want to do is gently open. You'll hear a psh. Once that gas has been released, you tighten it up again because you want it to ferment. After, I'd say, another 6 to 8 hours or overnight, you can check it in the morning and listen. And then what I do in the morning, because it's been like almost 24 hours, right? Then I will smell it. And if it smells like it's fermented, it's ready to go. You can taste it and make sure it's a sourness you like, or if it's not sour enough for you, you can keep it going. But if it's just right for you, then drink it. And it will be kind of fizzy too. That's one flavoring. If you want, you could always chop up some fresh berries or even frozen ones. I used frozen cherries once. 1/4 cup of frozen cherries into the jar, and then you just poured the water kefir right on top. It fermented, it had a nice cherry flavor. It was wonderful. I tried blueberries, but because blueberries are kind of tart, I would recommend maybe putting a little bit of sugar with those. That way it doesn't just taste like sour blueberries. So if you have any questions, please send them my way. I'll be making another video about how to make coconut milk kefir once I have all that together. See you soon. Bonus! These are frozen cherries, and I'm just chopping them up into small pieces, and then we're going to use them to make a cherry water kefir. Cherries are chopped, now it's time to put them in the jar. The cherries are in the jar, now it's time to put in the water kefir. As I showed you, we put the cherries in the jar, so now it's time to put our water kefir into the jar. I'm not using a funnel this time because I already washed it, so I'm just gonna do my best pouring this here. Boom! Now, this will ferment for as long as I want it to, 24 to 48 hours. But remember, check it every like 6 to 8 hours. Make sure that, you can push down on the lid like this and it gives way. If not, then you release the gas and then tighten it again. And then you'll have cherry flavored water kefir. Have fun! Oh, hey, there you are again. I guess another bonus for you. I'm going to show you how I prepare the ginger for the ginger water kefir. First, you have to make sure you have ginger. And because I have a lot of water kefir here, we're going to make a nice bit amount of ginger simple syrup. So let me get started. See, it's easy to peel ginger with just the edge of a spoon and just pulls that skin right off. And when you get around those knobs, you can cut those knobs off too with the spoon. It's very simple. Oh, you caught me. I peeled the ginger, so now I'm grating it. I'm using the larger grate side here, not the small one. You could use the small one if you want to release more of the ginger juice. But I'm using the big side, and then I'm going to put some water in here and just let it boil along with some sugar, and then let it steep, and we'll have our ginger simple syrup. Well, here we go. We have our grated ginger in here. So now we're going to add sugar. I'm just using 3/4 of a cup of sugar. You just want to have just enough sugar in there for a simple syrup, right? And we're going to add about that much water, which is about 3/4 to a cup of water. We're going to bring this to the boil, and then once the sugar is completely dissolved, we're going to turn it off, and we're going to let it steep for at least 10 minutes and let it cool at the same time. We're going to dump it all into our water kefir. In our pot here, we have our simple syrup. It's the 1 cup of water, 3/4 cup sugar, the ginger, and now we're just going to, it's cooled, so we're going to add it to our water kefir here. Again, you want to leave at least an inch. Hopefully you'll have an inch worth of space at the top so it can ferment and not explode your bottle. I don't want it to plop too much. There goes some of the ginger. All right, just gonna scrape it all in here. And then what we will do is we will put the lid on, stir it a little, and then we're going to let it start fermenting. This is the second fermentation, remember? And we'll let it ferment for 24 hours and see how it goes. Again, checking it like every so many hours, 6 to 8 hours, maybe 8 to 10 hours. You choose, it's your container. And releasing the gas is necessary. That's all there is to it.
Join others that are on the path of manifesting their best life through the 190 Vision Facebook group. Learn more about other topics by listening to podcasts on the 190 Vision Spotify channel or by watching videos on the 190 Vision YouTube channel. Request help by visiting the 190vision.com website. Click on the Help Me tab and submit the consent form. Help support the 190 Vision community by clicking on the Donate button that is located at the bottom of every page on our website.